Of course, before you start your candied popcorn, you have to have the raw popcorn product. We're here live at Paddlewheel Popcorn and Candy Company in downtown Hannibal, where owner Greg Addison is hard at it this morning, making up the popcorn for the day. What goes into making enough popcorn for all of your customers?
Well, we start out every morning by popping popcorn fresh. We have a couple different varieties we use. We have Carmel and Sweet, which is what we're making right here, which is a real round, tough popcorn. Pop it all into these yellow bags. It'll keep it fresh until we actually caramelize it. I've got another batch coming out. We'll pop 2 or 3 here to show you. Then we'll do our what we call extraordinary. So it's a much softer popcorn, and it's something we use. Excuse me, I need to slip over.
Yeah.
It's something that we use for our theater style popcorn.
If you could see this actual popcorn popper, it's more like the old stir crazy that you had, only on a massive level. We are really busy because you have to keep this popcorn moving, of course, to keep it dry and to keep it fresh in those bags so that when you do coat it, it does go together very well.
Moisture is bad, so we try and keep it as dry as we can. So you'll see me eventually when that starts coming out, it'll drip some moisture. We try and wipe all that out of there so it doesn't never get on the popcorn.
One thing that I thought was interesting that you told me this morning, a lot of times you would think a popcorn shop would leave their doors open so you could smell all of the wonderful aromas, but of course, because of the humidity, because of the air outside, they have to keep their doors shut all the time because of that moisture. You said it's the major enemy of popcorn.
It is. On all our popcorn, we put it in what we call a go box, but we always put that in a plastic bag for people so that they can keep the humidity off of it. Keeps it nice and crunchy.
You can hear that popcorn. I don't know. I guess I'll put the microphone next to the popcorn. You can hear it going. I wish you guys were here to smell it, because smell-o-vision is what we need right now.
It's the old steam moisture. We just wipe that out and try and keep that off there. Make a mess.
Just look at that popcorn. We are talking all sorts of popcorn this morning, and of course this batch of popcorn is going to be what's made into our kettle corn and our Aunt Polly popcorn that we're going to be showing you right here in downtown Hannibal later this morning.
Ooh, I love it.
Yes.
Oh, I'll take any of it.
You know, every Halloween we make a point to stop by the Addison's house because they give away Paddlewheel popcorn. Greg and his wife Cayenne. So it's like kids are going, let's go there first. It's the first
stuff on there.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's National Candy Month, and in honor of this very momentous occasion, we are talking popcorn today and candy.
Yeah, we got to talk about candy on National Candy Month. And to join us this morning is Melissa Schreiber. Good morning, Mel.
Good morning. I'm telling you what, I have the best job in the world this morning, because if you could smell the smells coming out of the kitchen area here at Paddlewheel Popcorn and Candy Company in downtown Hannibal, you would be jealous. Now, we've been making popcorn all morning. It started with the raw popcorn that we made in a giant stir crazy, basically. Then just in the last couple minutes, you saw us making the kettle corn, or I guess it would be butter toffee caramel corn in this area. Now we've moved the butter toffee caramel corn over to this area where we're making what's called Polly's Pantry, which is a mix of this wonderful popcorn with some nuts and, of course, drizzled in chocolate. I'm joined now by the owner. His name is Greg Addison, and he's been making this popcorn for us all morning. How do you do this when you talk about coating and you're getting all of this ready to make Polly's Pantry? How do you just drizzle it on?
We do drizzle it on. This really didn't melt quite as well as it should have, but what we do, some of the popcorns will cook the nuts right in. This particular one, we put the nuts on our butterscotch caramel, add the almonds, and then drizzle it in chocolate. That turns it into Polly's Pantry. It's one of our premium popcorns that we have here.
Okay, so we drizzle it on, and then at that point, once it's all drizzled on and everything, then
cool. We can't let it cool too long because it'll get sticky, but we do let it cool until the chocolate sets up, and then we bag it. So this isn't something we would ever have in the bin. This is something that you'd have to get off the shelf every time.
Okay, so we don't necessarily actually mix this all together. We're drizzling it, we let it dry, and then we bag.
That's right. That is exactly right.
Okay. Now we have 17 different varieties of popcorn here at Paddlewheel Popcorn Company, Popcorn and Candy Company. This is just one of them, and one thing that I thought was really interesting was when they started telling me about all the different varieties, it's really about trial and error as they've come up with different varieties. It's all because of using their imaginations, just adding in different ingredients. Is this one of those that you just kind of came up with?
This is one that we just came up with. We found that people love the butterscotch, but people are really, you know, we consider our caramel corn good by itself, but people always want something a little extra. So we decided, you know, we kind of played around with different recipes. We have one with pecans. We have one with almonds. We have a molasses with walnuts. So we have a lot of different kinds.
And the other thing that was interesting as well is that they use a different kind of oil when they're popping their popcorn. You said coconut oil?
We use coconut oil only. The guy that trained me originally said coconut oil makes the best popcorn, and he was right. And so we use it exclusively.
And it also helps with people with peanut allergies because, of course, you don't have the peanut allergy for the peanut oil.
That is right. But we do, for instance, our Tom Went Nuts is our standard caramel corn made with peanuts, and it is made on the same equipment. So we do have nut alerts in here.
Yes. Okay. So it's not a peanut-free kitchen by any stretch.
That's right. It is.
Okay. Well, good for me because I like peanuts. But you know, anyway, we've been looking at you guys making this all morning long. In the next half hour, we're going to be showing you all the different varieties and talking a little bit about all of the cool candy that they have in this store. We'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
Melissa Shriver, she's popping up some fun. Good morning, Melissa.
Hello, dear.
Hello! We have been making all morning at Polly's Pantry this wonderful variety of popcorn in downtown Hannibal at Paddlewheel Popcorn and Candy Company. Now, of course, we took you through the process. We made the raw popcorn this morning earlier. Then we made it into a caramel corn. Then, of course, during our last half hour, we dipped it, or we drizzled chocolate on top of it if that couldn't get any better. Now we're actually in the bagging process. This is Greg Addison. He is a busy guy. He's got to keep everything timed just appropriately so everything's fresh and the air doesn't hit it very fast. Greg Addison owns this company. We are talking about how you bag. What do you have to do to get this all as fresh as possible?
Well, you don't want to leave it set out too long, so that's why we're in a hurry to get this put in the bags. We use these fairly heavy cellophane bags and a heat sealer, and just put it in, seal it down. We have to make sure that the bagger is at the right temperature so that the bag seals, and there's not much to it. We put our label on and the name of the popcorn on it, and a price tag on the expensive ones, unfortunately. And
well, one thing when we were talking about freshness, I didn't know this, but moisture is popcorn's #1 enemy, of course. So when you would think that you would keep the doors open to a popcorn shop like this so that customers out on the streets could smell it and the smell could waft down the street and attract customers, it actually can hinder the popcorn because it makes it a little bit soggier. So we keep everything very airtight around here. Not a lot of movement as far as we keep the doors closed, air conditioned, everything like that. But one thing you might not have known about popcorn. We are joined now by the other co-owner, Diane Addison, and she's talking a little bit about the different varieties, 17 different varieties here in the store. I had no idea that there were cinnamon popcorn, for example. Where did you guys come up with all these different ideas?
Well, the cinnamon popcorn is very unusual because we use the oil of cassia for it, and it actually came from a gentleman who taught us, but you get that very good cinnamon flavor, and it's very delicious.
Cinnamon flavor, who would have thought? Another thing that was really interesting was this kind of popcorn for people who really like hot stuff.
If you like hot and spicy, we recommend Peppery Pirate. It is cayenne with cheese, and it's really spicy, and if you like hot, you'll enjoy it.
Now, cayenne with cheese, how do you get cayenne with cheese? I mean, do you just mix in cayenne pepper, or?
We mix in, yes, a pepper mix in with our cheese when we mix it in our tumbler, and it gives it a little spicy flavor.
And we were talking about, you were of course talking about the Gems game earlier. We're also talking about Caveman because we of course have popcorn from this store going to the Caveman game, and you can only get it there. Tell us a little bit about those.
We have 2 flavors that we specially do just for the Caveman. One's called Rockin' Fire, and that is our spicy cheese. And then we also have Caveman Crunch, which is a vanilla caramel and a Tom Sawyer caramel mixed together. And you can buy those at the butterscotch caramel, sorry, and you can buy those at the Caveman games.
Caramel is good no matter how you have it. One thing that we've been following all morning, of course, if you've been watching, we've got another batch of caramel corn. So folks who are heading to downtown Hannibal this morning, they're probably going to get this batch of caramel that's brewing and just about being ready to get mixed in with some raw popcorn. We're having all sorts of fun down here in downtown Hannibal this morning, but the thing that you are missing out on is the smell. I wish we had smell-o-vision in the station because it's wafting through the air and it's making me, actually the chocolate smell is making me want to violate my chocolate allergy this morning.
can pick all sorts of different flavors, Melissa.
Yeah.